Welcome to the Legacymakers podcast. We host an ongoing conversation around what goes into intentionally creating positive generational change through our own families. Because the thing is, we will leave a legacy one way or another. Every decision we make becomes the story that we tell. Our story becomes our legacy, and we only have one shot to tell a story worth being told. Thank you so much for listening. All right. Well, hey, welcome back. We are on podcast episode number 8, and we are so thankful. We got a full house today again. What a great group. What a gift this conversation has been over the previous several episodes. Why don't we just go ahead and go around the table right now, since it's been a while. Just go ahead and introduce yourself. Beto, you want to start? Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Beto. I'm the Mexican guy. I had to say that.
Guadalajara, right?
Yes, Guadalajara.
Yeah.
And I'm here with a local church called Palm Harvest. I have a podcast too, besides Legacymakers, called Christian Podcast and El Christian Podcast en Español. And I'm passionate about communications and sharing the gospel through media.
I love it.
I'm Ben Appleby. I'm a local church pastor. My wife, Riley, and I have 10 babies, both biological and adopted.
Was that 10?
10.
Bam.
Wait, did I say 10?
10.
I got to get used to that number. We have 9 with the number 10 on the way. So
10 is the
just
end.
10 live souls and beings. So, yeah, man. And just absolutely sold out for Legacymakers and what you guys are doing, as if it was my child, as if it was 11. And, I live to see the local church be beautiful, make the bride beautiful again.
Amen. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Man, I love these guys. I'm George Hanold, father of 3 little girls, girl dad. My beautiful wife, Nicole, I call her Sapphire. And my company is Times Real Estate California in Newport Beach, and we're super honored to partner with Legacymakers. We are a sponsor of theirs because we just believe so much in that mission, and just that the family is the foundation of this nation. And I just love their childlike hearts for the Lord and the message that they bring of lasting legacy.
I love it.
Cool. I'm Joe Snyder, the new guy in the room, the guest,
What's
I
up,
believe.
Joe?
Okay, the new
Thanks
guy.
for welcoming me in. I'm been a husband for a few years now, 23, with my lovely wife, Shelly. We've got
Legacy.
5 kids from 21 down to 10. And I'm a writer and director, do TV and film stuff, and help out lots in the local church doing discipleship and teaching. And that's a little bit about me.
I love it. And I'm Ben. We founded Legacymakers, my wife and I, in the middle of a pandemic, 2020.
Better time than ever.
Right? No better time than ever. And it is our heart, to help families live on purpose. So we're excited for this episode today. It's talking about maybe a touchy subject, maybe a sensitive subject, but a very relevant subject. And it is, what is an ideal role, or the ideal role, of technology in our homes? I think in today's day and age, there's a lot of opinions, there's a lot of thoughts and feelings around technology. But our hope with this conversation is just to shed some light on, what do we think? What could be an ideal role for technology? What are some alternatives? And so hopefully this message is encouraging and the conversation is helpful and maybe a little bit insightful just for some practical ideas. So thank you guys again for tuning in. So let's just jump right in. What's an ideal role for technology in the home? That's the topic. But first, let's just talk about, I'll just go ahead and start out. How do we use technology in the home? And, how do we what do we allow for our kids? So let's just kind of lay it all out there, everybody. Lay it all out there, guys. We'll just kind of let it out. And then we can kind of talk a little bit about each one's different nuances. But for us, technology is it's very limited. Our kids are young, so we have 6 and under, 6, 4, 2, and 1. So obviously there's not a huge need for technology. But we, personally, we don't have a TV. We don't have, really any sort of entertainment besides our computer. And so, I mean, that's pretty much the extent of the technology besides, my wife and I's cellularized telephones. And then we sometimes we let our kids watch a show here and there if like they're sick or maybe it's like a treat. We took this idea from the Applebee's, the Shell monies. I don't know how you guys... Shell reward system. So they get to buy, if they want to buy a movie night with their shells that they've earned by doing, good deeds, good tasks, then they can buy a movie night and whatnot. But otherwise, yeah, technology, it's fairly limited in our home. And so we can talk about kind of why later on. But what about you, Beto? Where are you at with tech?
No, man. Kids use iPads in their home. Yep. They watch TV. And yeah, I mean, we have 2 TVs. We have 1 TV in the kids' room, and it was a big decision to make. I mean, the 1 TV they have there, it's been in the room for since they were maybe 4. And it was a hard decision, because we thought, do we want to buy a TV to be in the kids' bedroom? And we decided yes, and I mean, I guess every family will make their own choices and stuff and have their own wisdom. Yeah. But yes, I mean, we allow, for example, my 5-year-old sometimes uses the iPad to watch, like YouTube Kids or things like that. So,
or Lego videos.
Lego videos, yeah.
That's what he was saying.
My 12-year-old, he loves building Legos, so he watched a guy, making mystery boxes, so and stuff like that. So, I mean, things like that. Awesome. I do, and maybe this goes back a little bit maybe to the parenting, the helicopter parenting, but I'm not like, okay, let me see what you're seeing like all the time. But especially with my boys, when they were watching movies, I would sit down and watch the shows with them. So lots of Curious George, lots of
that's right,
Dora the Explorer and whatnot. And I mean, I was just sitting there and I'm like, okay, this is okay, right? And I mean, at some point, I guess with the younger one, we kind of lost that a little bit. It's like, here's the iPad, right? When things get cranky or whatever.
Dude, man.
So I mean, in all honesty, yes, we do use it, and
it always happens
pretty
with
often.
The third.
Yeah, exactly.
No, thanks for sharing, Beto. No, appreciate that. Ben, what about you?
We have
what's your rules?
Well, you guys are like kind of explaining your environments, which I think is a really cool way to start. Yeah. And then we can go into rules.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It's probably a short list.
Sure. Yeah.
They're one and the same, actually. The rule is no screens. There's pretty much no screens. But I wanted to be honest and say we have one in our car, which is a ceiling-mounted thing on our Ford passenger.
I will admit that as well. We do have that.
Passenger.
Road trips we can't do road trips without having them.
Yeah, it's mostly
somewhat engaging a TV show.
That's right. It's mostly designed for when you're going to go over 10 hours in the car, and it's a godsend because you couldn't get it done if you didn't have that. And then besides that, inside the house, my wife has an iPhone, which she uses mostly for herself. Maybe she'll pull up a Zoom call for the kids if they have a lesson or something. And then we have a little Verizon tablet that's like maybe 8-9 inches, and that's used for their movie nights. They get a movie night at least once a week. If kids are sick or my wife is sidelined or I'm out on a work evening and she needs to put a show or a movie on, 100,000,000%. She's putting a show or a movie on so the kids can be in one room and she doesn't have to worry about risk to limb or life, right? For freaking 90 minutes. That's great. But beyond that, we do not have Wi-Fi in our house, and we don't have a TV screen.
We do have Wi-Fi in our house. I love that, though.
My goodness, you guys are such wonderful examples for us.
Dude, don't do that, George. Don't do that, George.
Don't even compare yourself.
Come on, bro.
You really are.
Every family makes their own decisions.
I receive this.
Every family's unique.
I just love it. I love how you guys model this for us. So intentional. The first question was, what's an ideal role for technology in the home?
Well, yeah. Well, we're just starting. Just lay it out. What do you guys got?
Where are you at?
Like, where are you at with tech?
My one-word answer for that would be gone. And we're on the opposite end of that spectrum.
Oh, okay.
So, we do have TVs, and I can tell you that it's kind of taken over to the point where the 2-year-old wakes up and she wants a show. She's waking us up at 6 a.m. She wants her show. iPads have just crept into the equation because we took that vacation to Hawaii and we're like, oh my gosh, we have to get iPads for the plane. And, they really hooked us up in all the driving. But now the kids really want them. It's definitely limited time. I mean, we'll give them maybe like an hour a day, and they're playing, ABC Mouse. So they're playing games and they're earning levels. And and it's a lot of fun. I love the reward system that you guys are working on. The shows, I think it's kind of gotten a little out of control, but we have major boundaries. Like I need to put on the show, or they need to ask me specifically what show they can watch. And, we've been watching a lot of Little House on the Prairie together. And I got to say, that show has just got such deep,
That's awesome.
That's required
insight
reading
and
in their
wisdom.
house. So
Yeah,
that's good.
love it. You guys are like Little House on the Prairie.
No Wi-Fi? I mean, basically.
Yeah. We're
Right, but I have to say,
Who churns the butter in the family? Is it
have
a
to say-
10-year-old?
Our closest friends just call us Amish.
my leadership with technology has not been good. And I'm going to make a commitment during this episode here with some pain at the end of it if I don't.
Are we making like some
let's
blood
go.
oaths? Let's make it interesting.
It's just going to have some pain attached to it if I don't live up to it. Because I've not modeled it, and I've glued to the screen, and it's for work is my excuse on it. But man, it's like a sickness, and there's a reason why from the top down these CEOs of these tech companies don't let their kids have iPads.
I just want to say two
True
quick
story.
detailed things because you made me think of them, and they may be also helpful conversations. But you talked about like how you help them use it, and that's really key. Like Riley uses this lock where it's like a kid's portal, and so you can open the select apps on that lock, and so and that leads me to the second detail, which was the other thing they use the tablet for is audiobooks. So that's their media addiction, by the way. They'll just get insane. We try to take it away after 60 minutes, and they're like heck, dude. They're like in their chest, and they're about to cut. Yeah, dude. And they become feral cats at mom and dad when we try and take it away. But that lock system is legit because they could navigate other places on that thing, and people need to know about that. This is not just
What's it called?
To your joking, like this show should not be a no holds bar prohibition and guilt and shame of anyone who's wherever they're at. But for sure, especially if you're going to use tablets or screens or whatever, like. I have to get it from my wife, but it's a great tool that helps them stay where they're supposed to be when you're not, because you're not going to look over their shoulder. That's the point of the iPad. The iPad gets to raise them for 60 minutes, so you're going to walk away. But that one little provision I think is really key.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe, I just wanted to throw that in.
No, I like that
So it might be helpful
tip.
for somebody.
No, it's
Joe,
great.
what do you guys have?
What do we have? This is like what do the Joneses have? Little episode here. Yeah, we have things. Always have had things. So we've always had a TV or two in the house, and laptops and iPhones and iPads and things. The kids don't get their own phones until they're kind of high school age, and we've actually delayed that more as they've gotten older. So my 16-year-old actually just got her own phone recently. She was sharing with her sister prior to that, which was actually a pretty good system. If anyone's never tried that. For
Go deeper on that. What did
for
that
kids
do?
who are old enough.
Yeah.
What did that do?
Like when they shared it, you said it was a good thing.
Yeah, so the two girls are only a year apart. So they were, I think since they were 14 and 15, we kind of had for a while, if we would go out, there was no phone at home. And we just thought, maybe we should have something that if we're gone, and the kids were old enough, they didn't need a babysitter. So, but there was nothing for them to get a hold of us on.
Yeah. No
We thought-
landline?
Nope. No landline.
Right. That don't exist anymore.
Telegram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you send a carrier pigeon to my parents out at the restaurant they're eating at? So anyways, we did get this phone. We called it the family phone. And the younger three kids who were, I don't know, middle school age-ish at the time, they weren't allowed to use it for anything but basically getting a hold of us. So anyways, we had that. But we delayed the when they got their first phone age. I think our first we let him get a phone when he started high school. And the second, the same. And then the third, again, it was this sharing thing for a while. And then she didn't get her own until she was 16. I think, so anyways, that's sort of the environment in the house. We do allow some TV watching, shows, things like that, particularly as the kids get older. I think when they're younger, there's a little bit more rules involved. A little bit more structure. My wife and I admittedly are not very structured. It's just not our strength. We're kind of free-spirited sort of artists. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But it's just sort of we struggle with a lot of structure, and so we're kind of always reevaluating the rules. And
That's the strength of that, by the way.
we're like, what are our rules? Like, do we have rules? Oh yeah, we should probably have one about that. And then we make one, and then we forget about it, and then so anyways, we're
Weaknesses I've been identifying as opportunities now.
Yeah.
Areas of weakness in my life. It's like the most opportunistic areas
there
for
you
me
go.
for growth.
That's good.
Evaluating.
Areas of weakness in my life, they're highly opportunistic. Room for the most growth.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. That's a very optimistic way of looking at that.
I appreciate your honesty on that, Joe, as
Yeah,
your guys' wiring.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it's been all over the place. We can talk more about that, but that's the environment at our home. I mean, I'm involved with TV and film, and so I watch quite a bit, and I could say it's quote unquote for work. There is some that's kind of wind down at the end of the day kind of thing, which we've gone back and forth with. There are times where we don't do that, but we'll watch stuff as a family. We'll do a family movie night probably once a week, and again, as the kids get older, we give them a little bit more freedom, but. Yeah.
I'm curious on the teens when they get their phones. Is there like regulation on the device itself, so-called net nannies, etc., or do you guys do anything like that?
Yeah.
Content
well,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
We, I mean, we basically use what's built into them.
Okay.
So we'll use the Screen Time app and the kind of the content filter stuff, and then for our high school kids, we've not had like Safari or like
Got
the
it.
internet basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're
You just
able
control
to
that through like iCloud. I've heard you can do that, like parental controls through basically system preferences or
you
whatever
can,
it is.
yeah, which is what we do.
All
and
right.
again, probably to our detriment because we're not super good with structure. We don't always use everything, and
Sure.
so
Yeah.
and there's some stories to tell about that as we get into it more. But
I'm super
yeah,
curious.
we do use some stuff like that. I'm curious to know what sort of like I would love like a whole house filter or something.
Yeah.
If
Clean
that-
browsing.
if that was a thing. Clean browsing.
It's a DNS router based filter, so it's like firewalls instead of computer to computer.
That's what you're
Yeah,
saying,
that's
right.
what I would like a whole house system.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I need to get that.
$6 a month.
Oh, okay.
$6 a month to save a mind forever.
Exactly.
There you
To
go.
save a
Keep your
soul.
mind
Or you
pure,
could just not
bro.
have Wi-Fi. That works too.
Yeah, which is even better. I recommend that.
Saving all kinds of money. And I'm immediately spending it on groceries and diapers.
Absolutely. Costco gets your money.
That's right. Every cent.
Well, hey, real quick story. So right now I have my BlackBerry with me. Woo! And this is actually what I've been currently using for the past maybe 48 hours, actually.
Blackberry.
Yeah. Pretty much.
He hasn't put it down since we walked
I know.
in. He's just scrolling on it
my
with
God.
that little
So
ball.
sad.
The BlackBerry Messenger app, man, it's just
I
incredible.
feel like it's
You know,
2004. It's
addicting,
amazing.
man. So, I mean, I think it's just worth noting. It's like kind of back to the point that I was mentioning in a previous episode is like, what our kids see is what they'll do. And so there was this point where my 6-year-old daughter, because I also have an iPhone, I will admit, I have my BlackBerry, and then right underneath is an iPhone. So I'm not completely free of this torrential device. But hey, there was a time when Camden, like I was like totally like just so swamped with so many different things, and it was hard for me to like just disengage from the phone because notifications constantly popping up, all kinds of stuff, and so I'd be constantly looking at my phone, constantly browsing or looking at my email or calendar or texts or whatever. And so anyway, there was a moment when Camden was like, "Daddy, are you listening to me?" Like while I was looking at my phone.
Soul crusher.
She told me something. I was like, "Yeah, Camden," and I immediately looked at my phone. And then she proceeded to talk while I was looking at my phone. And then I looked back at her. I'm like, "I'm sorry. What'd you say?" Yeah. So
Huevos crusher.
it was a soul crushing, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Who am I? What have I become? Kind of moment. And so that was like the story behind. Okay, it's time. It's time to take the phone to the chopping block and cut it off. So that's when I
Get
went
a
to the
BlackBerry instead.
Yeah, exactly. Straight up, because it's
punish
just like
yourself.
so old school. But I have actually reverted. Unfortunately, I am back to the iPhone with, as Joe was mentioning, so basically there's no notifications. The only thing I use the iPhone for is Surfline, calendar, texts, phone call, and then the Bible app.
Strava.
No, I don't even use it for that anymore, man.
You're so disciplined.
Surfing
And then,
doesn't count on
however, I
Strava.
did in the same
I know,
light.
that's
I don't
what-
have data, so it's only call text.
Right.
So I can only access anything else if I have connection to the internet, which
right.
I don't have if
right.
I'm not home.
That's right.
So there's no distraction. So it's very limited already. It's
Well,
kind of
Joe,
like
you brought up that you guys do a weekly movie night, and that's like almost a core value kind of embedded in my wife and I. And we try to watch like some of the movies that we watched growing up from childhood.
Core value.
Yeah, that's
Movie night,
amazing.
baby.
Movie night.
It's like kindness, generosity, movie night.
Gospel.
So good.
It's so funny. You're right. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Oh, I
that-
just
that
thought it was
chose
funny.
that
I wasn't
language.
busting your balls.
It is hilarious. It's hilarious that I refer to it as that because it's just a really big value for my wife and I. It seems like, right? But I feel like instead of making it that once a night or once a week, it's almost like a go-to, and it can kind of be viewed as an escape. We're tired, less intentional. And I remember we moved into a new house years ago when we had our they were babies, and we didn't have TV for like a week, and man, was it like a blessed week. Instead of just reverting to the TV, we would read stories, we were dancing, we were playing games, but then the draw of, oh, well, we want to watch, The Greatest Showman together or something, but it's kind of it can be kind of a disconnecting thing is what I'm noticing, and a zonk out and almost like a cop out for us.
Okay.
We're tired, right? And instead of intentionally investing, and really hit home the other day when I was talking to one of my business coaches, when he was just saying, like, this time is sacred. Your little girl is going to be grown up soon. And, because I was saying, I'm tired. I haven't been hitting my daddy-daughter dates. And he's like, you're going to look back one day and be like, man, that was like the most opportunistic time. Like, if that time means anything to me, I'm going to make the absolute most of it.
Yeah. I love that you've brought up the
thanks for sharing that
point of fatigue, George, because in this show, because I'll be the most intense person and probably the most legalistic person in this room. I'll just raise my hand and say that, especially when it comes to this topic of technology. I could demonize it to the 9th level of hell, get crazy. But I just want to call a spade because there's going to be tons, probably the vast majority of listeners who are like, dude, just shrugging shoulders, like, I'm doing the best I can. This is brutal. This is not what I thought it would be. Having kids and raising kids, and it's the hardest job on planet Earth. We've talked about that on the show.
Yes,
like, it's the hardest job on planet Earth. And so for the parent who's listening, he's like, oh man, some of these guys are setting crazy bars. Like, please give yourself grace. Please go at your own speed. Start with 1%. Celebrate the small victories. All the grace language I could pour and pour and pour. I just want to say we're all in that together. You are fatigued. You do need a break, especially the moms. I'll pick on the moms who are listening or somehow fallen across this episode and just say, you do you, and you get through that night. You get through that morning that you needed because their job, especially if they're home or even a blend of home and work, it's an insanely tough job. So give yourself grace with that.
Thank you so much for saying that. I
Dude.
feel that grace. I will also share that an encouragement is, for the men of the house that there's more in the tank. There is more in the tank. There hasn't been a moment where I've just made that decision to intentionally invest where I haven't had the capacity or energy to provide that investment. And the challenge is when I'm making a decision from a place of fatigue or I'm tired and I want to kind of lay it off on the TV to do the work, then it's like, what kind of things am I letting in? Even just pulling up Netflix, I call it Devilflix. It's just the images that are on there, even that while I'm going to the family friendly show and there's like every other image is demonic.
Totally.
What kind of things are possibly penetrating the soul? I don't say that lightly, and even the commercials in between on the free movies that what kind of things are what water is being let on the ship.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question here?
Yeah.
So as you guys are saying this, I mean, first, you, Ben, you already said, like, I'm the legalistic one or what. So just to play devil's advocate a little bit, is this a way to identify helicopter parenting, or how is this not helicopter parenting? How is this, I mean, because you said, no, I can talk about all the things that are wrong with media or whatever. And I mean, Joe, you said you work in almost like in the industry. So I feel like, man, how do we almost like bridge the gap, or is there a way to bridge the gap, or not?
Well,
right?
100%.
Do you have thoughts on that, Beto? Like, what would you recommend as like kind of like looking at it as an observer right now? I mean,
no, as an observer, I'm a participant in, I sit with my kids and I watch Netflix and things like that. But I do agree, with George, like sometimes I'm like, man, why is this show here, right? But I mean, what did you expect? right? I mean, it's a place it's like a multi-generational place, right? Netflix, where you can find shows for little kids. And even the shows for little kids, I'm like, maybe let's not watch that one. And I was kind of like very intentional with my kids, like I said, watching shows together. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're watching it together.
Yeah.
So even to this day, I could almost say like we never watch TV. Like my kids won't watch TV alone.
Yeah.
Kind of lying. They'll watch TV together.
It's okay.
But
it's okay.
but we do have like these moments of like a movie night. Like I've never seen a movie without somebody next to me. Like I don't sit and watch a movie and like enjoy it, because I feel like no, I need more people around me. At least my kids or my wife.
I think a thought that came to mind when you were saying that is the idea of like how, like, at least the way I was translating that question is like, how do you balance like the helicopter parent idea with technology? But I think the way that I would see that kind of coming out is in how you manage it, not necessarily what you're managing or like what it is that you're doing, but like how you're going about the management. Because like, for example, in Ben's situation, he could still be very much helicopter parent-ish, even though he's already removed all the tech or whatever from his home. Mm-hmm. But he could still be acting in a way that's like, no, you can't do that, or no, never do that. And that's very, vocalized and very verbal and aggressive. But you can still act that way even if you do have technology. Yeah. Right?
Yes. So I'm really excited to lean into this. It's a great question, Beto, and I'd love to hear Joe's responses to my theories and or just his own take, because he's the authority in the creative arts space, and I want to get back to that in a second. But here's my short answer. No, I don't think one iota this is a helicopter example. I believe that this is the spiritual obligation of the parent to be a gatekeeper for what comes into the house and what comes into the child's mind. It is a non-negotiable top-level job of every parent to be the guardians and gatekeepers for what they can control, because there's stuff you won't. They're going to they leave the house. You don't have 100% coverage. But anyone who tells me that they don't have the control over a tablet or a TV I'm missing something to say that you haven't. That it's not possible, that it's not at least possible. So my short answer is no, I don't think it's that at all. I think it's something else entirely. And then I'll make two other truth claims, if you will, and test these theories on you guys. First of all, I'm in that camp of I don't think the sacred secular debates are useful or totally biblical. I think you can create holy ground just about anywhere. And I thank Jesus for godly men like Joe who have been called to expand the kingdom in the creative arts spaces. We must. If we have not trained our kids that their vocational calling could be and must be in all the sectors, government, entertainment, church, on and on and on. I know that there's a thing, maybe Joe, like there's the 7 guys have tried to
7 mountains.
Yeah. And that's one camp that messes me up a little bit. But I think the truth of it is really true, regardless of the voices who are fostering that. But that's what we need to be about with our kids and our own families, is sending our kids and ourselves to all those areas. And let it be redeeming, and let it be deeply good. Let it be deeply godly. And so, no, I don't. And so let me bridge to technology. Technology is a tool. It's just like money. So none of us, I don't think anyone would be so bold to sit here and say that technology is inherently spiritual or evil or wicked. You can't do that. Money's a tool. I love Dave Ramsey's thing, because this translates to so many other things. Money's a brick. You can use it to throw through a window, or you can build a school for girls. It's a brick. It's amoral. Same thing with technology. And so, but here's my real theology about technology. And it comes from, I had to look up this is my only thing that I really want to look up so I can get it right. But Genesis 4:7 is my operating theology for technology. The short answer is this. Genesis 4:7 is that moment with Cain and Abel. Sin is crouching at the door and you must subdue it. So I know the connotation immediately sounds like it's moral, because you're saying sin, technology, is it evil? No, that part I'm kind of soft on, but it's the language of there's a temptation, there's a thing here that is crouching at the door, and more than anything, what I'm emphasizing is the second half of the verse, which is you must overcome it, you must subdue it, you must, what's the translation I just saw here that's really good? You must master it. Yeah. And so our operating philosophy in the house is a mastery of the tool. It's never going away. It's not ever going to go away. So we would be fools if we put our heads in the sand and said, oh, this doesn't exist, don't touch this, don't know about this. They must. And we must train and equip them to know how to have mastery over this thing.
Wonderful.
Does somebody want to start the slow clap?
Don't even do that. Yeah. Joe's going to add to what I said right now.
Oh, man. Well, I could. I mean, I do think We're talking about a couple different things here, and kids at different ages in the room, and different principles. And my assumption would be is Ben will probably introduce more freedom to the use of technology and entertainment as his kids get older and teach them how to interface with it. I do think the bigger issue is teaching our kids, discipling them as to how to use the tool and how to interface with the tool. And it's not that it's wrong to have an entertainment escape at some point in life. I mean, Jesus took his disciples away to a desolate place to eat good food and have leisure. Jesus instituted leisure. It's not wrong. It belongs in our life. It doesn't mean technology does. I'm just saying leisure does. Not doing anything does. And entertainment can play a role in that. It doesn't have to, but it can.
Entertainment can include technology.
It can, and it can be used properly, and then it can be used really irresponsibly. I do. I mean, somebody I know calls iPhones weapons of mass destruction, and it's an interesting. Well, it's funny, obviously, but I love it because the phone has been a weapon of mass destruction in my own life at times. At times when it kept me away from my kids, who literally would grab my chin and pull my face to look at theirs. Wow. When I had that same moment that you had, Ben, that you were just talking about, where I'm just like, okay, I think I need to get a BlackBerry now because I hate using it and I won't want to. So I've definitely had moments like that, but just to answer the core question we're at right now, I don't think it's an issue of how much access you give your kids, really, although there is certainly a gatekeeper protector role that we play, particularly when they're young. And as they get older, it becomes more of a question not so much of protecting them from it, but how to interface with it. That's right. And that's the world in general. So if we look at technology and entertainment as part of, quote-unquote, the world, Jesus' economy for anything that isn't the kingdom of God, we have to disciple our children as to how to interact with it, because we are missionaries of redemption to it. And so, teaching our kids that they are sent into the world to impact it rather than them being impacted by it. Yep. So those are just some brief thoughts on that.
That is really, really, I loved how you said that, because I feel like that is, again, like everyone's got their own opinions on technology, but that's like above the question. That's like, this is the principles of how we live within the realm of obviously our world, and that. So thank you for sharing that. I feel like that was very de-alienizing in a way.
Do you mind if I just add one more thing, Ben?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think, and I will say there are times where I'm not a very good guardian, and I either by my laziness or my busyness or my apathy allow something into their eyes that I didn't mean to, and it happens. And God's really kind in that we can use that as an opportunity to have a conversation. And so sometimes something will come up unexpectedly. Our family's been kind of big American Idol fans for many years. But as the show has gotten a bit harder to watch with the family, because various very adult topics come up more often that now require conversation that I wasn't ready to have yet with a 7-year-old. And so I think number one, we're not going to be perfect in this, and it's the grace of God anyway who covers, and we can pray that way. God, protect our kids where I fail. But using it as a jumping off point to have conversations with our kids, to talk about sex, to talk about sexuality and identity, to talk about trial and sickness and difficulty, to talk about failure, grace, achieving, success, all the things. So it can be, if used well, a tool in that way.
Can I just briefly, I know I won't be long, I promise, but I totally affirm everything Joe's saying. And he's saying something, especially for the listener, about the age differences in our homes that's so vital. The guy, I don't remember his name, that huge church in San Diego. He's a better book writer than even a speaker, but he's so good. Not Goff. That's going to bug me, but I'm not going to waste our time on it. Anyways,
put it in the comments.
Yeah, I'll find him. He said that with the way to, there's an age difference defined like this. For up to 18, we'll just say, because that's the adult age, you're responsible for them. From 18 on, you're responsible to them. So quick anecdote, if that's not clear enough. My 2-year-old does not know what look both ways means. They will walk right smack dab into a car in the middle of the road. I'm responsible for that soul. 100%. Anything less is abdicating my responsibility. Wow. But there comes and then they're 18, and I'm going to go back to your perfect, simple illustration of your 18-year-old boy. Hey, son, I've seen where this road leads, and I've been there too, but I'm not going to hold your hand now. You're a man. So go and walk. I'm responsible to give you that wisdom and advice and counsel, but I am not responsible for you anymore. You have to be a guardian of your own soul now. Yeah, so the last punchline is what you just said about if we go hyper control and it's a tight loop, we have failed. That's also failing. This whole thing we talked about in the last episode about control, we've also failed. Our responsibility is skills impartation. Because if they get faced with that at 18, 19, 20, the rest of their lives, they have to have the schools to be able to, we're not going to be there.
Correct.
So beware of the helicopter thing because it's a disservice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our bigger failure as parents isn't so much like what we do and don't do while we're parenting. It has more to do with not preparing them for adulthood.
There you go.
And I think if we're discipling adults, we're discipling people to become God-fearing, responsible, society-contributing, culture-building adults in the world. And we can't make that happen, but we can disciple them into the skills, that where their free will can join with it.
So good.
And so with technology, I think it's the same as with all these things. And as kids get older, they need to have deeper and more conversations. I'm convinced that most parents of teenagers fail by, and I have failed here big time, we fail most by not having the courage to have hard conversations.
Come on.
And so just so as we discuss and think about technology, let's just have courage to have hard conversations with our kids when they're ready for them.
That's a great perspective. These are teachable opportunities.
Yeah. So good. Well, I mean, this is such a great conversation, and I feel like it's taken the nuanced, practical, that is really up to each family, and then just raise the conversation up to the higher level, and really brings the heart of the matter, which, man, I feel like it was very insightful for me and super powerful. So thank you guys so much for sharing. Is there just any 1 minute, one little, just kind of last liners you guys would feel like might be helpful for people who are listening in to hear? Anything quickly you want to add?
Yeah, I'll just try to be really lightning quick. I want to affirm what Joe said about the open door policy. How many countless stories I could tell you about people who leave their faith, but they come back because they could talk to mom and dad even as adults, and the door was always open. And we have this beautiful scriptural precedent for that. Enter the throne room of grace. Come to the Father. So if we model that on earth, that they can come to the Father like all the time, and we will not kick them out of the room. We will not shun them or shame them. You are sowing seeds for those grown persons to have a relationship with them, until the end of time. Mm-hmm. And then number 2, I just wanted to say about the seriousness, just the expense of being extreme, the gravity and the seriousness of, one of our questions was, how is it impacting our lives? Yeah. I think one of the biggest things about technology is it opens the door to the world. That's the beauty of technology. We're truly global, way more than we were 20 years ago. Some book you even probably gave me said that in the last 20 years, we've had equivalent to 20,000 years of development. If the Industrial Revolution was like 100 years straight up and down, that was 100 years. Technology revolution was tantamount to 20,000. So they have access to the world. Really cool. But also, that means that they have access to worldview. I just can't plead enough with families and parents, even one person who's listening to this. This is not the one you want to leave to chance. If you leave a vacuum of worldview for your kids, someone will impart one to them. And worldview is not a soft science and all just how I think. No, thoughts equal action. Thoughts equal action. Action equals your whole life. And so I do want, because we didn't do a ton of time on the gravity, because we're not going to be fear-led, and we're not going to drive people to fear either. But I do want to say gravity. It matters.
That's good. It's good. Any last points?
I used to go to lunch with a friend of mine. He's not here with us anymore, but if I ever put my phone up and was looking at it while he's sitting across from the table, it would really upset him. He kind of had the old school values, and he's like, do you have any idea how rude that is? And now, we go out, and I'm just making an observation. You see 4 teenagers together sitting at a table, and they're all completely locked into their phone. There's absolutely no connection or engagement. And, I repent. I repent of it because when I put my phone screen down, is it one of my daughter's beautiful faces that I'm looking at behind it? And I don't want to miss out on that.
That's great. Sobering.
Just one last thought. This is going to be good because it's like 30 seconds. No, all I want to say is I remember one day watching a movie with my oldest boy, and it was just him and me, and it was the movie Ad Astra, and it was about a son and a father, and the father went to live in a far-off planet, and the son wanted to see him again. And when he got there, he realized that the father didn't really care that much, about him. And it was just like a good movie. Like the movie itself is like a piece of media talking about how sometimes we focus on these other ideals when the best things we had in front of us all the time. Like relationship with our kids, relationship with those we love. So value the relationships that are right in front of you.
Right. So, but you got that powerful message. You received it from the media.
Yes.
And you know what? I did say I was going to make a commitment here. My commitment is 1 hour per day, cell phone free, of intentional time with my family and children. And if I do not hit that hour, I'm going to chalk this up, and this is through the end of October, 1 minute ice bath per hour missed.
Oh, snap.
I'll do it right here in front of you guys.
Okay,
for
yeah, we'll bring it.
So
Bring
your
the ice
punishment
bath.
is something good for you?
No.
Absolutely.
You have to record
Painful
the
and
next
healthy.
podcast in the ice bath.
I like that. I like that.
Wow. Nah, just kidding. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for listening. Hey, really quick, do not listen to this podcast on times 1.5 or 2 times speed. I'm going to have to go back home and listen to this like 3 times. This was an awesome conversation and super helpful for my own knowledge and insight and just my own family. So we're hopefully this was helpful and encouraging to you as well. But thank you again so much. And you know what? We will see you on our next episode. Thanks. Hey, this is Ben with Legacymakers. You can follow us on all social platforms at Legacymaker Families. If you felt like this podcast was helpful, encouraging, or inspiring for you, would you consider making a tax-deductible donation at ChooseOurLegacy.com? Thanks again.